The unseen power of Bruce Lee, the man who moved like thought. The room trembled before he did. A sharp crack split the air, faster than sound, too quick for the eye, and a heavy bag swung like it had been struck by thunder. Bruce Lee stood motionless, relaxed, almost serene. No muscle strain, no wasted effort. Just a calm man in perfect balance, as if gravity itself obeyed him. Witnesses said his movements blurred, that his body seemed to vanish between frames of reality. But what they were seeing wasn't magic, it was mastery. Bruce Lee had done what few humans ever achieve. He had turned his body into lightning and his mind into the storm that guided it. His unseen power wasn't hidden in the mystical sense. It was invisible because it came from principles too fast, too refined, too deeply internalized to be caught by the naked eye. He was not merely strong, he was efficient, controlled, and terrifyingly precise. Bruce Lee trained not for show, but for truth, to discover how far the human body could go when fused with absolute intent. Every movement, every breath, every heartbeat served a single purpose: to express the perfect harmony between mind and motion. He built his strength from the ground up, literally. His power started in his legs, coiled through his hips, and snapped forward through his torso with the grace of a panther and the force of a sledgehammer. His legendary one-inch punch was a demonstration of physics at its purest: momentum without distance, force without tension. Behind that single inch lay countless hours of isometrics, heavy lifts, shadowboxing, and meditation, the physical science of impact combined with the art of relaxation. He understood that true power begins not when the muscles contract, but when the mind releases resistance. Yet Bruce Lee's dominance was not born from the body alone. His mind was his ultimate weapon. He studied philosophy, psychology, physiology, and combat like a scientist dissecting truth. His notebooks were filled with equations of motion, notes on energy transfer, and reflections on Zen. He believed that the mind and body were one system, that speed was not in the limbs, but in the nervous system, in the instantaneous transmission between decision and action. When he moved, there was no hesitation. Thought became strike. Intention became impact. What truly made Bruce Lee powerful was his refusal to be confined. He shattered the dogmas of traditional martial arts, absorbing techniques from boxing, fencing, and judo, and blending them into his personal creation, Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist. It was not just a fighting style, it was a philosophy of freedom. He saw combat as a mirror of life, unpredictable, fluid, and ever-changing. To survive, one must adapt. To dominate, one must flow. His famous maxim, "Be water, my friend," wasn't poetic metaphor. It was the distilled wisdom of motion itself. Water doesn't resist. It finds a way. It bends, slips, crashes, and becomes whatever it must to overcome. Bruce Lee's unseen power came from the unity of these truths. He was as much a thinker as a warrior, as much a philosopher as an athlete. He trained to dissolve the gap between will and action until he became pure expression, emotion without chaos, energy without waste. His strikes carried the weight of science and the soul of art. His strength was not measured in muscle, but in mastery, the mastery of self. He once said, "The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus." And that was his secret: total presence. Whether in the roar of combat or the silence of meditation, Bruce Lee existed completely in the now. That focus became power. That power became legend. To this day, his unseen force lives on, not in his muscles, but in his message that the greatest strength lies not in domination, but in transformation. Bruce Lee didn't just fight with his body, he fought with his philosophy. He proved that a human being, through relentless self-mastery, can transcend limits and turn motion into meaning. His unseen power was never hidden from the world. It was hidden within it, in the breath before the strike, in the stillness before the storm, in the unbreakable will of a man who became his own revolution.